Political quake over MUDA scam heat. High Court nod to prosecute Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Sidhu faces land scam probe but can appeal. Congress says witch hunt. BJP seeks Chief Minister's ouster.
He is not involved with any scam. It is a political conspiracy by the BJP.
I demand Chief Minister Siddaramaiah ji to resign.
Will Siddaramaiah succumb and resign as Chief Minister? MUDA scam tremors hit Karnataka.
So what does this mean for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah? He's put up a strong front. He says this is revenge politics of the BJP. But could things get worse, legally speaking, for the Karnataka Chief Minister? I'm Shiv. Thanks for being with me here on 5 Live. To begin with, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is putting up a brave face, displaying absolutely no concern or vulnerability after his big setback in the Karnataka High Court today. The Karnataka Chief Minister has sounded a note of defiance. He says he will not resign, will not step down as Karnataka Chief Minister. He's called everything that's happening currently over the MUDA scam, the case against him, calls for a probe in the MUDA scam where Siddaramaiah's wife is alleged to have been a beneficiary. He says this is Badla politics, revenge politics by the BJP government.
ಯಾಕೆ ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಡಿ? ಕುಮಾರಸ್ವಾಮಿ ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರ? ಬೇಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬೇಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರಪ್ಪ. ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ರಿ. ಕುಮಾರಸ್ವಾಮಿಗೆ ಬೇಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೇಂದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲೇ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲೇ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇದು ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಎಂಕ್ವೈರಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಎಂಕ್ವೈರಿ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ನೀನು ಕೇಳೋದು. ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ, ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ದೆಮ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ it is a conspiracy.
And let's go straight to our team of reporters on the ground who've been bringing us the very latest on this big developing story. It's the first major scam controversy concerning the Congress government ever since its landslide victory in April-May last year. Let's go across to Nagarjun Dwarkanath. He's at the Chief Minister's residence in Bengaluru. Sagai Raj is at the BJP office. The two camps that are now at war over the MUDA scam. Nagarjun, quickly coming to you first. Siddaramaiah saying no question of resigning. He's called this a BJP controversy. But the fact is that he did face a very, very sharp setback in the High Court today. What is his next plan of action?
Well, at this point of time, what the Chief Minister's camp is saying is that they would get into a huddle tonight, most likely with Singhvi and other senior leaders, Advocate General Singhvi, his legal advisor, and go through each line, each word of the judgment and as to decide if they have to go to Supreme Court or the division bench of the High Court. Most of them are feeling that you should go for a division bench because once you go to Supreme Court, there are chances that the Supreme Court might ask the CM to go back to the division bench and then come knocking at the doors of the Supreme Court if no remedies are given there. But politically speaking, CM had a positive body language today. He was smiling. He said that if morality is the question, you should ask Kumaraswamy to resign because he's out on bail with FIR. How can someone question me? Look at the legacy of me is what he has said. Till now, I'm accepting on record that I have not done anything wrong is what the Chief Minister say. But henceforth, Shiv, is just a game of chess. Who moves and who breaks first is what we have to see henceforth. The BJP has called for a protest at 5 p.m. and already a protest across Karnataka in district headquarters. Like I said, it's a game of chess now. Who breaks first will be the big question, but unlikely that the CM is giving up anytime soon.
You know, the words that have been used by the High Court are quite scathing. While they dismiss Siddaramaiah's petition against the governor's instructions, clearing the way for a probe, the High Court actually said, and I want to read out some of what they said. They said, if this were to be the case of a common man, he would not have fought shy of facing the investigation. In the opinion of the court, the Chief Minister, a leader of the proletariat, the bourgeois, and any citizen should not fight shy of any investigation. There is lurking suspicion, looming large allegations, and the beneficiary of 56 crore rupees is the family of the Chief Minister, the petitioner. Judged from these spectrums and analyzed from the aforesaid premises, the irresistible conclusion is an investigation becomes necessary. So the High Court has not minced its words when it has supported its finding that the governor of Karnataka is the competent authority to sanction prosecution against the sitting chief minister. They've said they've found nothing out of the ordinary or inappropriate about that. Sagai, you're at the BJP office. We heard from B.Y. Vijendra earlier. The BJP has made it very clear. They're calling for Siddaramaiah's resignation and no less than that. We hear that they're going to be protesting soon. Tell us what's happening there.
As we speak now, you can see that the BJP is staging protesting in front of BJP office, demanding the resignation of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Even in the past, when this MUDA scam came to light, the BJP had demanded that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah should tender his resignation on moral grounds. And they have also mentioned the past instances where B.S. Yediyurappa had resigned when he was a Chief Minister, when there was allegations of corruption against him. Let us try to speak to any one of the leaders here. What is their demand on today's protest? Sir, आपका क्या demand है? Sir, आपका क्या demand है?
एक ही डिमांड है, मुख्यमंत्री इस्तीफा देना, करप्शन चार्जेस उनके ऊपर है, इस्तीफा देना.
You heard from BJP leader C.T. Ravi, who is saying that the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah should tender his resignation on moral grounds and allow the investigation impartially the state of Karnataka.
Is there any chance, let me bring in Nagarjun once again in on this. Naga, is there any consideration at all that resignation could be a possibility for Mr. Siddaramaiah, or do they want to first exhaust all their legal options before even contemplating that?
I don't think there's any question of resigning at this point of time. It's too soon is what even the cabinet ministers who are also adversaries of the chief minister are saying, that it's too soon because it's just been a couple of hours that the judgment is out. They need time, and also it will, remember, it's also the pressure that mounts over the time, how much the opposition puts pressure and what is the high command doing and how many MLAs stand by the chief minister. If high command, for example, let's assume that hypothetically if high command decides to seek resignation of the chief minister, what if 100 out of the 136 MLAs say no to it? All these permutation combination will happen eventually, but at this point of time, no one has said internally or in outside, overtly or covertly about the resignation, including Mr. D.K. Shiv, who is the party president. In the press conference, he said that this is a conspiracy. We stand by the chief minister and we will take the fight in the court of law and fight it legally. But internally, it might change in the next few weeks or next few days, depending on how the high command moves. All eyes on the high command because the decision lies with them.
Okay, so remember that this is this particularly hurts the Congress government in Karnataka because, as Naga and his team reported right through the election campaign, anti-corruption was one of the Congress's big planks when they came to power in a landslide victory last year in 2023. The PCM, the famous PCM campaign against then Chief Minister of the BJP, Basavaraj Bommai, and other allegations meant that the Siddaramaiah campaign was one of probity, of cleanliness, of anti-corruption crusading. And this is the first big controversy that is literally at his door. It's not even at his door, it's inside his house because the allegations are against him and his family members. So this is too hot to ignore. It's too close to simply brush aside. And therefore, Siddaramaiah and the Congress party putting up a united front at this point of time, even though there could be some rumblings within the Congress party. Sagai and Naga continue to stay with me. Those images you just saw are of the live protests by BJP leaders outside the BJP office in Bengaluru. But the Karnataka High Court, and I just read out for our viewers some of their harshest words in today's verdict, they've dismissed Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's petition challenging the legality of Karnataka Governor Thawarchand Gehlot's approval to an investigation against the Chief Minister over alleged irregularities in the Mysuru Urban Development Authority or MUDA land scam case. The High Court said the governor can take independent decisions if exceptional circumstances arise, adding that the governor's order does not suffer from non-application of mind. This puts Siddaramaiah in a difficult position, but he does have legal options. Take a look.
A big setback for Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in the alleged MUDA scam. The Karnataka High Court on Tuesday rejected Siddaramaiah's petition challenging the legality of Governor Thawarchand Gehlot's approval for a probe against the Chief Minister in the land allotment scam case. The High Court said that the governor could take decisions independently and he is indeed the competent authority to sanction an investigation. The court added that the facts narrated in the petition needed investigation and that a probe against the Chief Minister was mandatory in the case. The High Court said that the complainant was justified in filing the complaint and that the Chief Minister's family directly benefited in the case. After the verdict, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah said he would appeal against the verdict. The Chief Minister claimed he's fighting against the revenge politics of the BJP.
BJP is trying to dislodge our government through money power. I'm not afraid of the conspiracy hatched out by both BJP and JDS, because people of Karnataka are with our party, are with me.
The Congress has rallied behind Siddaramaiah, dismissing reports of a divide within the party.
My Chief Minister has not done anything wrong. He is not involved with any scam. It is a political conspiracy by the BJP to all of us, to all the opposition leaders in the country. This is what is going on. We stand by him, we support him. He is doing a good work for the country, for the party and for the state.
Chief Minister and their cabinet.
The opposition BJP has trained its guns on Siddaramaiah, seeking the Chief Minister's resignation.
Chief Minister Siddaramaiah as well as their cabinet, they alleged that Raj Bhavan has been misused. But today, High Court has given a clear judgment and High Court has clearly said whatever governor has taken decision is 100% as per the law. Being a responsible Chief Minister, he is bound to resign.
The Mysore Urban Development Authority or MUDA scam is related to land allotments made in return for acquired land. Siddaramaiah's wife allegedly got land worth more than the compensation that was due. The allotment incidentally took place during BJP government's rule. While the Congress has backed Siddaramaiah for now, the investigation into the land allotment case could become a rallying point for his detractors within the party in the days to come. With Sagai Raj, Anaga Keshav and Nagarjun Dwarkanath in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now remember, Siddaramaiah led the Congress to one of its biggest victories in Karnataka in April, May last year. I was there during the campaign as well, and anti-corruption was one of their biggest planks. So why is today's verdict in the Karnataka High Court, even though it's not a final calling on this particular scam, why is this big as far as Siddaramaiah is concerned? Number one, it's the first major scam after the Congress 2023 landslide victory. So that makes it a milestone of sorts. Over a year later, the MUDA scam emerges. Number two, it's the first scam allegedly implicating Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, in this particular case, his wife. Number three, it destroys that whole pay CM anti-corruption plank of the Congress. The manner in which the Congress had gone after then BJP Chief Minister Raj Bhavan. This is at Siddaramaiah's door. So it's like a kind of counter pay CM on the Congress Sarkara. Number four, it emboldens the opposition to heighten its attacks. They've smelt blood. They're smelling trouble within the Congress party. They're seeing a whole host of people making all kinds of noises, and they believe that they can amplify their attacks around the figure of Siddaramaiah, who, mind you, so far has been pretty much Teflon coated when it comes to the issue of corruption. And finally, number 5, it puts Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in a bit of a quandary over his resignation. He's put up a strong front in public. He says no question of resigning, but there's always predilections, there are always dilemmas, there are always pulls and pressures in politics, and anything can happen, as Nagarjun said, in the weeks and the days ahead once the legal path actually becomes clear. Sagai, I want to quickly come to you outside the BJP office where that protest is still carrying on. What is the BJP strategy now? Protesting obviously appears to be the only real way they can take it forward, but politically speaking, how do they plan to put pressure on the Congress government and Mr. Siddaramaiah?
A few months back, the BJP party took out a Padayatra from Bengaluru to Mysuru, protesting against MUDA irregularities and demanding the resignation of Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Following this particular verdict, we need to wait and watch whether the BJP have a similar kind of plans to carry out a Padayatra or will try for a legal option. See, end of the day, today at 5 p.m. now the BJP have called for a huge protest in front of BJP office. You can see it is pouring here in Bengaluru, but still the BJP party workers and leaders are protesting on the stairs of BJP office, demanding justice and demanding the resignation of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in the MUDA scam. And they claim that they will continue to protest unless they get justice and justice to the other landowners of MUDA in this particular case, as well as the resignation of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in connection with the irregularities in the MUDA scam.
Beyond the politics of it, Sagai, since you're on the ground and it's, you're in the best possible position to tell us this, what is the sentiment within the public about the MUDA scam? Do people believe that Siddaramaiah, is in trouble? Because so far, he is a leader against whom nothing has actually stuck. He is reputed to be personally very clean. No corruption charges against him have ever, resulted in anything. This is the first time there appears to be some kind of trouble.
So if you notice, during the election campaign, even you were in Bengaluru and you visited many parts of Karnataka. Even I visited many parts of Karnataka. Many of them, especially even in the BJP bastion, many of them said that they want to vote for BJP, but they wanted Chief Minister as Siddaramaiah. So they claim that they want to vote for BJP, but still Siddaramaiah from the Congress should be the Chief Minister. So this is the opinion of the public. And after these kind of allegations against Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, somewhere people are quite unhappy because a leader who claimed that he never had any kind of black spot from 40 years of his political career, facing these kind of irregularities, addressing series of press conference, claiming that he is innocent, he has not done anything, there is not even a single paper that he has signed in support of his wife in this MUDA scam. But still, people are quite unhappy that Siddaramaiah is embroiled in this entire MUDA scam.
Stay with me, Naga. Sagai, Nagarjun, one final question to you, Naga. DK Shivakumar, obviously part of the united face that the Congress is putting in here. Is there going to be any trouble for him, or is he going to stand tall with the Chief Minister?
Well, at this point of time, he's standing tall with the Chief Minister. But like I said, things might change with High Command intervention. A lot of people have aspirations to be the Chief Minister. Mr. Parmeshwar, Mr. DK Shivkumar and Mr. MB Patil, so many of them have time and again said they want to be Chief Minister, but not during this tenure. Again, they've put a disclaimer as well. They want to say that today's Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, and we stand by them, certain to some disclaimers so that High Command will take the final call. The ball is in the court of High Command. I was talking to someone close to the Congress party here and who is inside the cabinet also, who was saying that the choice of resignation is not with the Chief Minister. The choice of resignation lies with the High Command at this point of time.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks very much, Naga and Sagai, for joining us on this developing story. We'll be tracking it very, very closely. Our team on the ground breaking every angle, every twist and turn in this story in motion. And joining me live from Bengaluru now is Minister in the Siddaramaiah government, Santosh Lad of the Congress party. He's the Labour Minister in the Siddaramaiah cabinet. Mr. Lad, thank you for speaking to India today. This is the first big controversy facing your government, sir, in the 15 months since you came to power. But in the last few weeks, whether it is Valmiki, whether it is the MUDA particularly, and in light of what's happened now in the High Court, these allegations appear to be sending tremors through your government. It certainly seems so.
Yeah, definitely there's a technical team, there's a legal team also which will definitely look into this matter. But that's why I said no. The whole of BJP wants to dent his image. He is one of the Ainda leader in the whole of India. He is the only Ainda leader, especially in Karnataka too. So basically they have planned to dent his image. Being little bit whatever knowledge I have got, believe me, there's absolutely, he's a spotless still. There's nothing that he has done corrupt practices to get the land there. Anyway, now it's a matter of only prosecution now. It's not a matter of who is right and who is wrong, whether the sites are legal or illegal. That is not the situation here. It's only a prosecution matter, right, which was the court has upheld the governor prosecution. So it's more of only a prosecution case. So it's not a matter of a case where it is the sites were legally given to him or illegally, whether he was whether he has got the sites with the misuse of power. That's not the point today. Yes, we will definitely go to the appropriate court, I said. So I've been telling you very clearly, BJP had a certain agenda to dent his image, and he is the only Ainda leader in whole of Karnataka and as whole of India, which BJP is trying to get out of it. I'm sure in due course of time we will come out clearly, and we will prove to the whole world and as to the Karnataka that Mr. Siddaramaiah is not involved in any of such things.
But what about the calls for his resignation, Mr. Lad? The BJP and the JDS, the JDS formerly your partner, they're both mounting the pressure. They also smell some trouble within your party ranks. I don't know how true those are yet, but there are people who've come out and sounded their own aspirations. Do you think that this whole call for Mr. Siddaramaiah to resign on so-called moral grounds carries any weight?
See, the question of resigning does not arise. The reason is, if that is the case, I repeat, the question of resigning does not arise. If that is the case, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi Sahib has to resign. Because when electoral bond itself was unconstitutionally told by Supreme Court, where 8,500 crores was amassed in a different way, the method, why not BJP is talking about it? Where is the morality of a BJP? If any BJP leader is asking a resignation of Mr. Siddaramaiah, I think I can challenge this first in the centre. All the ministers who are involved in collecting this electoral money in the form of a bond, they all should resign, including the Prime Minister himself.
Having said that, Mr. Lad, speaking specifically of the MUDA scam, one interesting aspect that most people don't remind their viewers about, which we constantly do, Mrs. Siddaramaiah has said it, your government has said it, is that these transactions, these land transfers happened to Mr. Siddaramaiah's family when it was a BJP government in power, which is why Mr. Siddaramaiah has actually said, let there be any investigation, everyone will be exposed.
Obviously, when BJP is in power, even the MUDA, the chairman was a BJP and CM was nowhere connected. And when CM was himself a chief minister would have taken it, he has not taken it consciously. He's been avoiding not to take because obviously it knows people would rally to it. Now when BJP has given it, and BJP is blaming for MUDA cases, and why only 14 sites? Why not 125? Why did the governor did not give prosecution for all 125 sites? Only why this so much? It's so very well planned. Abraham comes, goes to governor and says only about 14 sites. Why not all other 125 sites? Isn't it on a prima facie? It doesn't look like it's a vindictive politics there. Why should not governor would have applied his more mind to ask why about 14 sites? Why not 125 sites?
No, you're right, because even Mr. Siddaramaiah in his statement has called this Badla politics, revenge politics of the BJP. Either way, the ball has been set rolling. Legally speaking, the Karnataka High Court has cleared the decks for an investigation. Of course, there is legal recourse that Mr. Siddaramaiah has at hand, both within the Karnataka High Court and then with the Supreme Court. So we'll be tracking every aspect of this. Santosh Lad, thank you very much for joining us live from Bengaluru. It's a story that has infuriated, unsettled and troubled people for days since it happened. An incident involving an army officer and his fiancée inside a police station in Odisha a few days ago. Videos of what happened have gone viral. They have polarized people. There are angry exchanges going on WhatsApp groups and especially on social media between supporters of the army side of events and supporters of the Odisha police side of events. Remember, Odisha is a BJP-ruled state. Now, the army officer's fiancée, who was allegedly tortured by the police at the Bhubaneswar Badlapur police station on September the 15th, has come on record to recount her horrifying ordeal after being released from jail. Take a look at this exclusive excerpt from a conversation with my colleague Shivani Sharma.
There were 3 women on my head pulling my hair, and I was pinned down. I was waist down, bent down, and through a blow on my face, I saw my tooth fall out. And then that is when I told them, "Ma'am, बहुत आप हद पार कर चुके हैं, ma'am. Please अभी बंद कीजिए." I was literally begging to them. Now, from asking for my bare rights, I had turned towards begging that, "Ma'am, please stop, please stop." She wouldn't. She took my tooth and just flung it outside. She disposed it off. And there was blood all over the floor. I was bleeding through my nose and mouth. Then one of the ladies came at my neck. That is when all my hand, legs, everything was caught. That is when I bit her. Then they tied me up. One of the lady constables' scarf was used to tie me up on my leg. My own jacket was used to tie my hand. And then I was thrown into a room where they continuously kicked me. The SI who had put Gurvansh behind the lockup, he came in. A lady constable pulled up my bra, exposed me, and then he was just thumping on my chest continuously. I was just begging them to stop. Why is this happening? They were just abusing, having a laugh, and then they locked me again and they left. Then I was screaming just for help. And after a few while, maybe half an hour or so, the door opened again. And I saw a fresh face. So I just thought that maybe this is that Bade Saab they were talking about. He was the IIC of that place. So he just asked me in a very angry tone that, "What's your problem? Why are you screaming so much?" And then watching a new face, I explained him the entire predicament that this all has happened. While I was telling him, one of the females just pulled down my pant, and simultaneously he was taking off his shirt and pulling out his pant. He came at his private part onto my face, standing right above my face while I was laying down. And then he just told me, "How many times would you take it to just shut up?" By then I had just felt all the disgrace, and then I just couldn't look no further. And I told him, "Sir, please don't do anything. आपने मेरे बात पीट दिया और please कुछ मत कीजिए. Then next when I looked up, nobody was there, just that the room was open. And I was just lying down there crying. In the meanwhile, Gurvansh came in. I told him, "Please open me." He opened me, then both of us went and sat at the reception again. With all the beatings, I could barely walk, so he supported me and took me to the bench. Then Gurvansh had gone inside the IIC's room to talk something, I believe, and I was sitting there alone. And when Gurvansh came out, I told him that I don't feel well medically. And I need to go and speak to whoever is senior in charge over here because I need to get out of here. I need some medical emergency. I don't feel okay. By then, there were a few army people also over there that I could spot. So I asked Gurvansh what is going on. He also didn't say anything to me. He just said, "Sit patiently, I'll get you the help that you need."
Absolutely horrifying account, and you will find that full interview on our digital channels and later right here on Primetime.
Israel's deadliest strikes on Lebanon. Nearly 500 killed in airstrikes.
When we heard the explosions, I was a bit fearful, more than usual, because it's very loud and there's no alarms.
Hezbollah retaliates, but Iron Dome intercepts. Netanyahu's big warning to Lebanese civilians.
The IDF has warned you to get out of harm's way. I urge you, take this warning seriously. Don't let Hezbollah endanger your lives and the lives of your loved ones.
Israel declares state of emergency. The latest in the Israel-Hezbollah escalation.
It's now been nearly a year since the Israel-Gaza conflict started, but the real violence is now happening at the other end of the country. It's northern front with Lebanon. The Israel-Lebanon war is escalating and the death toll increasing every 24 hours. In the deadliest attacks since the 2006 Israel-Hezbollah war, Israeli airstrikes have now killed more than 585 people in southern Lebanon. This came right after pagers and walkie-talkies exploding in Lebanon, which killed several people and injured thousands in what is said to be an elaborate Mossad operation. The Israeli army released aerial footage showing strikes on Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon, the country directly to the north of Israel. The Israeli army said that over the past day in multiple airstrikes, the Israeli Air Force has struck approximately 1,600 Hezbollah terror targets in southern Lebanon and the Bekaa Valley. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who you just heard, issuing a warning to Lebanese citizens, urging them to get out of harm's way, and that the Hezbollah has been using innocent citizens as human shields. Meanwhile, Lebanon also launched retaliatory strikes in northern Israel, which were intercepted by the Iron Dome air defense system. Soon after this, Israel has declared a state of emergency across the country till the 30th of September.
I have a message for the people of Lebanon. Israel's war is not with you. It's with Hezbollah. For too long, Hezbollah has been using you as human shields. It placed rockets in your living rooms and missiles in your garage. Those rockets and missiles are aimed directly at our cities, directly at our citizens. To defend our people against Hezbollah strikes, we must take out those weapons. Now, starting this morning, the IDF has warned you to get out of harm's way. I urge you, take this warning seriously. Don't let Hezbollah endanger your lives and the lives of your loved ones. Don't let Hezbollah endanger Lebanon. Please, get out of harm's way now. Once our operation is finished, you can come back safely to your homes.
As I speak to you, before you, our people in Gaza are enduring one of the darkest chapters in modern history. For nearly a year now, Israel's genocidal war has caused unprecedented loss and suffering and humanitarian catastrophe. At the same time, our people in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, continue to face systemic threats driven by the escalating settlers' violence, military raids, movement restrictions, and financial siege, withholding of Palestinian tax revenues.
We've got some more breaking news coming in on this story. And the airstrikes haven't stopped. There are fresh Israeli airstrikes being reported now in southern Lebanon. This is an operation that the Israeli military is calling Northern Arrows. They're continuing to strike Hezbollah targets. The death toll mounts to over 580 in Lebanon. The IDF, that's the Israeli Defense Force, is now targeting Lebanon's capital of Beirut as well. That's the latest that we're getting in right now. I want to bring in India Today's Gaurav Sawant for more on this story. Gaurav, Operation Northern Arrows, this is territory that is not unfamiliar to Israel. Israel has invaded Lebanon twice in the past. It appears that the decks are being cleared for some kind of a larger operation. Possibly you've had Netanyahu, appeal to civilians and citizens in Lebanon to find cover as well. What are you hearing?
Shiv, massive airstrikes, massive, almost relentless airstrikes and a dangerous escalation on Israel's northern borders with Lebanon. There have been 1,300 areas that have been targeted. 1,300 is a huge area to target. 1,300 targets acquired is huge. But that's exactly what Israel has done in the past 24 hours, and giving details of every home that is being targeted, including those that have rocket launchers in the basement, or as Israel puts it, whether it's missiles, rocket launchers, rockets in the attic, all of those locations are being targeted and people are being told. So they've intercepted and they've gone through the mobile telephony system, through pagers, through radio, telling people evacuate, leave your house. If you are living anywhere close to any Hezbollah location, any Hezbollah weapon storage area, at least leave, go 1 kilometer away or leave that village altogether and do not return home till we tell you to return home. When people are on their way to Beirut, there are reports that even precision strikes are taking place near Beirut or on the outskirts of Beirut, wherever Hezbollah leaders are. And according to Israel, they've targeted Ali Karaki, one of the main southern area commanders of the Hezbollah. So they're saying Hassan Nasrallah downwards, they've taken out practically the entire leadership of Hezbollah, those who were leading operations, and were planning an October 7 kind of an attack on Israel from the northern side. So they've been taken down. They're calling this a preemptive strike.
Gaurav, October 7th is approaching. That will be the first, the crisis would have been on for 1 year. October 7th will also be seen by many of these groups as a day to remind Israel perhaps of what happened on that date last year. A state of emergency has already been declared in Israel. But could there be a ramp up of operations as well, across, not just in Lebanon, but also in Gaza and elsewhere?
So, Shiv, the information that we have from the Israeli Defense Forces seems to indicate that they are well and truly in control of the situation around Gaza. They have forces in and around that area, and Hamas no longer poses that potent military threat that it did 1 year ago. And it took almost a year-long operation for Israel to be able to say that. That's point one. Point two, but they're not in a position to say that because, as you well know, Hezbollah is much better armed compared to Hamas. They have longer range weapons. They have larger quantities of weapons, whether it's missiles or rockets, and those rockets and missiles can hit every part of Israel, and Israel hasn't been able to take them out. So their biggest apprehension is on the first anniversary. Before or on the first anniversary of those October 7 attacks, there will be a massive strike, and this time from the Hezbollah-held Lebanese territory. And that is why they've mounted an air operation, they've mounted missile strikes, they have their forces poised to enter. But will ground forces, which is the artillery and armor and mechanized forces and ground forces, will they enter or will it remain an air operation? That remains to be seen, Shiv.
All right, thanks very much, Gaurav, for joining us with the latest on this big unfolding story. It's a story that we're going to continue to track very, very closely on the ground as well. Remember, there are lots of Indians who live both in Israel as well as Lebanon. We'll get you that aspect of the story as well during our coverage in the days ahead.